Hey guys, I'm just letting you know, after I make this video, I won't be uploading any new videos for about, I would say about 7 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks. So by the earliest, probably, I'll be uploading the next video after this by probably March 20th around. So I won't be uploading any new videos after this one until about March 20th. The reason is I am going to be doing some cardio training, some intense power walking, and that'll take about a month to do, to get all the hours and minutes that I plan to do to get all that in there. I'm going to do it indoors. It's very cold where I live right now in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but it's probably in Celsius minus 32 degrees with the wind chill, so it's very cold out. So starting next week, I will be doing a month of power walking to supplement my workout routine and get some cardio in. I'll do about 4 days a week for 4 weeks. And also, once I'm done that power walking, I will look to buy a better camera instead of this, as I mentioned or called it before, crummy internal camera that I have on this laptop. I have been saving some money up as of late, so I would say by May, by the end of May, I should have enough money to buy a decent camera that I can bring with me to different locations, like the gym when I do odd lifting training or cheat dumbbell curl training. So, and again, I won't be uploading any new YouTube videos after this until about the last 10 days or the last week of March. At the earliest, probably March 20th, like I said. But it could be the last week of March because of the powerlifting, sorry, I meant power walking. I don't know how powerlifting jumbled in my brain with power walking. Because of the power walking training I want to do for the next 4 weeks, starting this Monday coming up. So yeah, I won't be uploading any new videos after this one until about the last week of March, at the earliest March 20th. So again, I meant power walking, not power lifting, and I will not upload any new videos after this one until at the earliest March 20th, most likely after that, right before the end of March. And I am going to get a new high definition camera that I can take around and film footage of me doing odd lifting or cheat dumbbell curl training sometime in probably May. I've already saved up quite a bit, and I'm looking to save up even more. So I'm looking on the internet at different brands of cameras, and I'm arrived at maybe 2-3 brands I'm looking at. So by the end of May, I should have that camera to film on location in the gym when I do the heavy cheat dumbbell curls or the odd lifting. Yeah, so March 20th at the earliest. After this will be my next video, most likely before the end of March, maybe even early April. So let's get to what this video is about. I'm here to talk about a man who often doesn't get enough attention. someone who doesn't get enough attention. The only show I watch on the History Channel, on the main version of the History Channel, so in Canada we have the regular History Channel, and then we have H2, which is like History 2, or like a supplemental secondary channel. On the History Channel, the only show I really watch is Pawn Stars. And my actual favorite character on Pawn Stars isn't any of the four main characters. So it's not Rick Harrison, it's not Corey Big Hoss Harrison, it's not the Old Man Harrison, although I like the character of the Old Man, and it's not even Chumley. Although out of those four, out of Rick Harrison, Corey Harrison, Big Hoss, the Old Man, and Chumley out of those four is by far my favorite character that I identify with the most. I think there's another character that some would call like a secondary or a peripheral character in the background, and he's in not every episode, but he's in a lot of episodes, and that would be Big Antwaun, the pawn shop's resident security guard or doorman. Now, Antwaun, he really is the unsung hero of the show of Pawn Stars. He often doesn't get enough credit on YouTube and on other social media platforms. I never hear Antwaun being brought up or talked about that much. And from the research I've done about Antwaun, I know that he played, high school football. I think he was a offensive lineman in high school football, and he could have played junior college, or university football in the United States. I'm not sure. I can't find that information. There's not actually, surprisingly, not that much information online about him. But he played offensive line in high school football, and then he did play some junior college or university gridiron football in the United States. He's 6'5" in height, and he weighs 430 pounds. So he weighs over 100 more pounds than I do. He weighs roughly 110 more pounds than me, and he's quite a bit taller than me. He's about 9 inches taller than me. And the reason I think Antwaun is so underrated is that you have to look at it like this. Las Vegas, contrary to how they present it, the shop on the show, on Pawn Stars, Rick Harrison and his father, the old man Harrison who owned the shop, they kind of portray it as like a super safe kind of environment where, it's business as usual, and it's a pawn shop full of big spenders and well-heeled regular clients, and they bring in all these super educated experts to look at valuable merchandise that's brought in to the shop. But in actuality, from what I've heard, the area that the pawn shop is in is fairly rough, and it's in a rougher area of Las Vegas, and that to me shows how much of a hero Antwaun is. If he's head of security there, and it's Nevada. I'm sure people carry around guns. People, there's a big homeless population in the greater Las Vegas area, and Antwaun has to deal with all the unsavory types, with all the uh, the rough types, the rubby dubs. It's all, the show is edited very, very concisely for TV. It only shows the good parts of the shop. It only shows, like I said, the regular clientele that has lots of money. It shows the super educated experts coming in. It shows, like the nice side of Las Vegas. But I'm sure, the pawn shop, I believe, is open 24/7. Antwaun has his hands full with all sorts of rough and tumble characters, But the way it's edited to be kind of a educational program on the historical value of the items brought into the shop. Now, in my opinion, a more accurate kind of view of how a pawn shop is, and that even probably goes for pawn shops where I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, is on the show that used to air. I think it stopped airing in 2015, called Hardcore Pawn, and that was Leslie Lesgold owned a pawn shop in Detroit, Michigan, and that's closer to the reality of, in my opinion, of how a lot of these big city pawn shops are in the United States. In his pawn shop, there's a lot of security, and Antwaun's become a celebrity now in Las Vegas at the Gold and Silver pawn shop on Pawn Stars. But I'm sure he has his hands full. He's had to. I'm sure he's had to deal with like somebody trying to pull off almost an armed robbery in the shop because it's open 24/7. He's probably had to disarm a guy with a firearm with nunchucks, probably with brass knuckles, with with a bladed weapon like a knife or a sword, with a baseball bat. He's probably, Big Antwaun's probably seen it all, and he protects, he protects the main characters on Pawn Stars, like Rick Harrison with his slick, shiny, bald head. The old man protects him. He protects Corey, Big Hoss Harrison. He protects Chubby Chumley. If it wasn't for Antwaun, the pawn shop would not be would be a much less safe environment. And on top of that, Antwaun, from what I would ascertain, is in body weight the heaviest employee of the Gold and Silver pawn shop, and that says a lot for me. Carries 430 pounds of bulk on him, and he's ready to enforce safety at all times. And he's, in my opinion, there should be just an episode or 2 or 3 episodes, maybe 2 1-hour episodes of the best of Antwaun. So like when they get a very, I know they don't show it on Pawn Stars. They show their, the richer, well-heeled, if you will, customers come in and sell valuable items. But I'm sure at the Gold and Silver pawn shop, they get all sorts of rough individuals there. Like I said, it's open 24/7. It's in Las Vegas. And I'm sure Antwaun's had to, getting some altercations to defend the shop and defend the shop's employees and to defend the property of the shop. I'm sure he's had to, put some kind of rear naked choke on a guy, or he's had to have, put an arm triangle choke on a guy, or a key lock on a guy, or a kimura on a guy, or possibly, an arm bar on a guy, maybe even a forearm choke, maybe a smother choke, maybe a one-arm strangle choke. And maybe an Americana, and he's probably had to throw knees, punches, and kicks. Possibly even open-handed palm strikes at the rough kind of the rougher part of their of the demographic that would come into that pawn shop, because mostly they film during the day for when they for the show. But that, if another idea outside of having just 3 1-hour episodes on Antwaun, having to remove people from the gold and silver pawn shop. They should also do Pawn Stars at night or something like that, where they have all the rough customers come in that they have to throw out. Kind of use kind of partially the format that the show Hardcore Pawn that I previously mentioned earlier on has, at least as kind of a change on things. Because there's going to be in Las Vegas a world famous pawn shop like that where celebrities work, open 24/7. Tens of millions of dollars or more in merchandise just in the shop. There's going to be all sorts of crazy individuals, ruffians, that would come in there. And Antwaun is the man. Big Antwaun, the guy that keeps them out. And, to me, Antwaun, he's the last of the true in a way. Corey Harrison has lost quite a bit of weight. I will put all the relevant links below the video. But Corey Harrison has lost quite a bit of weight. He may have had stomach surgery. Chumley has lost a decent amount of weight. But the one last holdout there is Big Antwaun. In fact, I remember in one episode, I think there was a hovercraft or something brought into the shop. And they tried to get Antwaun to test it out, and I remember distinctly Chumley saying to Corey Harrison, or Big Hoss, Corey used to be big once. Trying to remind Corey of his glory days when Big Hoss Corey Harrison was pushing the 400-pound mark. And of course, Chumley was also pushing that 400-pound mark. So I will give information about the weight loss journeys of below the video in the relevant links / additional info about the weight loss of Corey Harrison and Austin Chumley Russell, and about the show Pawn Stars. But the one last holdout, like I said, is Antwaun, Big Antwaun. 430 pounds. Can you imagine that? That's 110 more pounds than I weigh. 430 plus pounds. He's the unsung hero of the show. He should get a bigger salary. He should get more airtime. He should get his own series of specials where he deals with magnificent ruffians, if you will. Anyone who likes underground hip-hop will get that reference, magnificent ruffians. Antwaun is former football star, gridiron football star in high school and in college. I just don't think he gets the exposure that he deserves on Pawn Stars. I mean, he's the biggest guy. He's the biggest dog in the yard there at the gold and silver pawn shop. And he kind of reminds me of a couple of super heavyweight mixed martial artists, maybe 3 And I'll even put information about them below in the relevant links. He kind of reminds me of Boruto Kato, who is he's a Baltic Eastern European descent. He's from could be Estonia or Latvia, and he had a successful sumo wrestling career in Japan, and now he's moved into mixed martial arts. He has a very similar physique to Antwaun. Also, Alexandru Lungu, who is from Romania, a super heavyweight mixed martial artist. He's shorter. He's only about 5'11" or 6 foot, but he's reminiscent of Antwaun's physique. And of course, Chris Huggy Bear Barnett. Those three guys are legitimate mixed martial artists, and they kind of remind me of Big Antwaun from Pawn Stars. Big Antwaun, the authority figure there. So, put the relevant information below the video, and including about those three mixed martial artists, those three super heavyweights that remind me of Antwaun in a way. And, he's my favorite character on Pawn Stars. Some would say he's a peripheral character, but Antwaun is my favorite Pawn Stars character by far. And so, starting next week, like I said, I'm doing the 4 weeks of power walking. After that, it'll be late March at the earliest before I upload a new video. I am saving up towards a decent camera that I can take into the gym, that I can film cheat dumbbell curl or odd lifting training with. I've been training quite regularly for the since early November, of 2017. I've been training quite regularly with lighter weights, and I've been working on my foot placement, working on the supination I do when I turn the reps up. Been working also on doing, believe it or not, a little bit stricter of form with more control, and I think you'll see improvements in the second half of 2018 once I get that camera going in the gym and film some training sets. So that's coming up for the second half of 2018. And you guys, remember Antwaun, Big Antwaun on Pawn Stars. Remember the name. He doesn't get the credit he deserves. He should have several specials of his own. It should show more additional footage of what his role is as a security guard or doorman, and the kind of people he has to keep out of there. So he's I see him as a hero of the History Channel. To me, he's probably the most interesting character of any show that has ever come on the History Channel. Him and Giorgio Tsoukalis. Well, he's on in Canada. Giorgio Tsoukalis and David Hatcher Childress are on Ancient Aliens, and that appears on H2. So it's part of History Channel, but it's their secondary channel. So on the main History Channel, I think Antwaun is the most interesting character on History Channel, and those other guys from Ancient Aliens, they're on H2 in Canada, or History 2. So on the regular History Channel, the most interesting character is Antwaun. It's not Rick Harrison. It's not the cast of Vikings, or whatever the show is called. It's not Nightfall. It's not, Curse of Oak Island, or whatever. Finding Hitler's Bunker in Argentina. I don't know what shows they have. The only one I watch on the regular History Channel is Pawn Stars. So guys, remember Big Antwaun. Big Antwaun. Thank you, guys.